it is really a killer. It can kill momentum in a relationship. I believe it can kill.
And now for a featured presentation.
Hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with Liz.
Conversation with Liz. How are you doing? Welcome to you if you're here for the first time, to all our 244 up to today, 244 subscribers. Thank you guys, thank you, much appreciated. So we need to get to another 244 and then another 244. Yes, you just share and share and share and share. All right. Of course, when you come and watch the video, you can remember to like the video. All right, that's the least you can do.
And if you're a first time viewer, you could please subscribe.
Yeah. So again, we want to say welcome to you. As promised, we want to look at the topic of pride as it relates to relationship, and pride getting in the way of how things should be, and how we can not allow our pride to get into the way of something beautiful, or making something come back to what it's supposed to be. All right, so we're going to get into it, and of course, as we say, we're just reminding you too that once you like what we the content, as them call it, yes, you can share it, because other persons will like the content too. And of course, we're not just targeting Christian couples, we're talking couples in general, because we just speak about life on this channel. Life as it happens, life as it happened to us. And of course, we look forward to your comments, because we know that it is not just all about what we have experienced. So when you talk or when you make a comment, we will use what you have said to either help us to make future videos or whatever. Alright, so we're going to get right into it. Of course, we looked up the definition for pride. I don't know what that means. So about feeling good about the achievement and so forth. But as it relates to relationship, it has a different connotation to us. The scripture says, boy, pride goes before a fall. You understand me? And even in that, we understand the context too. Because the context of that is, listen, if you're full of pride and you're so conceited in yourself, you're going to something going to happen to make you look silly. So it's best to just keep a humble spirit and go through. Yes? But as it relates to relationship now, I don't know, and if you're Jamaican and living overseas, or if you're non-Jamaican, we are thinking that, we look at pride, the other man, our lady would tell her husband, come on for your pride, or your pride is stopping you from saying sorry or coming down off your high horse, to make amends and to make things okay. So let's look at pride. You can give your view.
Yeah, my view on pride in this particular is that I don't see how it helps the relationship, because most time when we have pride, it stops us from humbling ourselves and admitting when we're wrong, and basically just accepting what is our blame in a particular thing. And so I don't think it is really a killer.
it can kill momentum in a relationship. I believe it can kill the vibe in a relationship. It can kill a good thing. It can also kill intimacy as well. It can kill your partner's energy level, right? Because as Michelle said, if it is that something went wrong, right, and you're so puffed up in yourself, right? Especially most of the time, the men them are at fault, but we know that at times the ladies too. So we don't ever even say, boy, it's one-sided. It's both ways, right? But you're not so puffed up in yourself that you think it hard to say, boy, I was wrong or sorry. And as we said in our previous video, sometimes, even if you're right, if you and you cause the argument and you make anything so as it is, it doesn't mean you can't humble yourself, as it were, just as old people say, to make peace reign.
Yeah, most of the time it happens when we don't know how to laugh at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people believe that when you look silly before your significant other, they may feel stupid and all of that. But that's the time you should be vulnerable.
Yeah, but it's easy to say, because I remember there is something happening.
It's not necessarily easy to say or hard to say.
Okay.
It's just that we have all come short at times and fall into a situation like this, wherein we know that, okay, let me be the bigger person and just go and make up with a significant other, and just try to break the ice. But you may very well, if you're like me, you leave the room that you're in, approaching to go and be silly, act silly, and forget about your pride until you may read the other person's expression and see that, okay, they're still looking all puffed up, and you say, okay, well, I'm not gonna drop my face as yet. Neither, like, okay then, so let me see what what he's really thinking before. And it feels like a game
of tit for tat sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think people should know when to put aside their pride. You should know when, within the relationship.
So from your perspective, when should someone put away their pride?
My thing is that most of us should put away your pride. If it's time for you to say, okay, say you're in the wrong, and you should say, I'm sorry. Put away your pride.
How long should it take to put away your pride?
I cannot tell anybody how long to put away their pride, because for some persons they have to muster the strength to go in, you understand, to apologize and to all of that. And again, for people like me who believe that, okay, you should really be sorry before you go and approach to say you're sorry, because anything after that is like you're telling a lie. So I'm not going to really put a time span, but if I should, I would say, as the Bible said, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So don't let it takes a day. You understand? Don't let it be that you sleep on it.
Because you see, and the reason I say why I ask how long, because especially if you're the person who did something wrong, when your spouse is on the other hand feeling hurt and you did something wrong, the longer you take to go and say sorry, right, is the more the person will feel like you don't really care. Because if it is that you do something wrong and say it wrong, and sometimes sometimes act like you don't even know say it right.
But the person may very well don't know that I don't believe that they're wrong. But that's why I said
point taken. But what you know, even if you don't know that you're wrong, and your spouse visibly is upset, it's supposed to send a signal to you to say, hold on there, man, maybe I was really wrong for you.
Yeah, but you shouldn't run and say sorry if you don't know what you're sorry about.
No, but the fact that your spouse is hurting, you see your spouse hurting.
You could very well, alright, instead of saying sorry, that's where I guess you have to put away your pride now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right. You understand? Right? So you have to go.
Because even if you don't,
Okay. You know, Jamaican people love to say not to cut you when they really cut you for just like about
No,
anyway,
but
right?
no, man, go on. Just say you was about to talk.
Yeah, I'm basically saying that that's when you really it is necessary. Put aside the pride and say, you know, I realize that you're offended by what I may have said or do. You understand? That's not my aim. So I just want to say, if I've offended you, I am sorry. You understand? I mean, you can apologize for that because you genuinely don't want to offend the person. You understand? Instead of saying, okay, if you really, and that's when if you really believe and you don't see what you're sorry about, I think that's a way to
That's the
approach
point
it.
I was making.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's the point I was making to say.
I put aside my pride. I'm sorry. I'm just
That's the
missing
point
God.
I was making to say. Even if you think you don't do nothing wrong, just the mere fact that your partner is visibly upset is enough for you to come down and say, "Whoa, I maybe did something really and truly to offend
So the both
her."
persons are upset.
No.
feel offended.
One person must know them the wrong. It can't be like two. What can happen now is that because of what probably said or what was done, it brings out a negative reaction from the other person, and hence now the two parties are at ends and I'm upset. You understand me? But at some point, somebody looking at themselves and say, or has to look into themselves.
Yeah, the person
And
that
say,
is
boy,
calm, sure.
says something I probably did see. Not necessarily the person who is calm, because the person who is calm is the person who was offended. Or you understand what I say? So it is important that somebody then just looking within themselves and say, okay, maybe I really did something wrong. Because what you know, if the person who did something wrong don't realize what is it that the person who is calm or the person who didn't cause the offense, what are they going to say to you? They might probably come and say, boy, you know, say,
okay,
when you offended me,
right?
And suppose you say, me not say me offend you.
No, but
You
that's where
understand?
wisdom should come in. That's why we're here talking about pride, because that sounds a little prideful to say, I don't see where I offend you.
But that's the point.
That doesn't solve anything. And
Can you say genuineness to say offending?
Right, but at the end of the day, these are some of the issues that will and do arise in situations like these. So instead of being prideful and say, I don't see where I offend you, I think it is best. Now looking at these things, it's best. The best answer should be, well, I have not see what I've done that I've caused an offense.
That's not the best answer. In my opinion.
However, that I'm still. However, I just want to say that I've recognized that you are offended by something that I've said and done, and I'm sorry. You understand? So it's not good to be so heavy-handed in those situations. Give each other the time and the space to recollect, the thoughts after you have calmed down and everything, to see where you have genuinely gone wrong, so you can honestly apologize. So instead of being high and mighty, say, I don't see where I've offended you. You should have this and you could have that. It never stops. So it's best to just put aside pride and be a peacemaker and let everything just come down and settle, so we can be in better headspace to have a more meaningful conversation about what take place or what took place.
And when you check it out, nobody wins when pride stands in the way.
That's true.
Right? Nobody wins when pride stands in the way. Persons and straight up, we have had situation where pride stand in the way, and me turn my back and she turn her back, and me sleep till the morning, she sleep till the morning. But then over time, you still have to come to your senses. I call it that way. You come to your senses, all right? You can't live this way forever. You can't pretend and be hypocritical about the elephant that's in the room. So you're gonna have to, somebody will have to just simmer. Well, some people say be the bigger person, but then if you say be the bigger person, it may sound condescending. So somebody have to come to them sense and say, you know what, let me get this thing sorted, because if you really genuinely think, care about the person,
Our both persons can collect their thoughts.
Well, I mean, I've never seen it at the same time. Like the two persons come and say, "Oh, I was wrong. You were no, I was wrong."
No, somebody instigated.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
So somebody have to initiate it and say, this something went wrong. I'm not gonna hide it. So and then now again, that's why this is called conversations with the leads. You have to have that conversation. What was it that happened? What was it that caused the offense? What was it that something what I said, how I said it? That is now the person who's the offendee. You know,
and we should be honest with ourselves too, because I believe that in a lot of time in relationships, why arguments are not solved, and sometimes some simple arguments are not solved. And even though, we're here talking, I'm learning too, and I'm talking to myself, and from experience, some arguments may not solve easily, is that we get up in our feelings, right? And that's when the pride comes in and we put up a wall. However, if we can learn to identify when these things are happening, we can stop ourselves, right? And in simple situations, we know within ourselves, because we know where we go wrong in most parts. When there's a disagreement, we do, as individuals, we know. And at times, because of the same high and mightiness that we're here talking about, and we try to mask. When we try to mask the truth, then we sometimes even push ourselves in a corner that we're forced to become defensive. And when we become defensive of what the truth is, then that's when we have to defend, and pride comes up. And then that's when we look stupid most of the time. So if we could just sometimes think before we talk, and when the truth comes to our mind, don't try to mask it to be something else. Just let it be the truth and let it comes out. When it comes out, then you can address it honestly, you understand, and get past the hurdle.
And then because we follow the scriptures say about the truth shall set you free.
Exactly.
Imagine when you release yourself from the chain of pride, or that choke of pride, and you come full frontal with honesty and truth.
Yeah.
You feel much better, you feel lighter, and it ends up in better and nice make up time together, nice sex after that. I can't say the word. Yeah. And not only that, it brings you. Let me tell you this, what I've learned over the 20 years. Every disappointing situation, every conflict, if you love the person, after that it brings you closer.
Yes.
It does not push you further. And that happens when you are able to be honest with yourself,
and
come out for your pride, have the conversation, and then just mellow back again. And all that does, it brings you closer. Now, the only way it keeps you at ends is if both parties have not come to some conscious understanding of the situation, and say, okay, this I didn't do, or whatever the case may be, let's just move forward from here. And that is why we can chat so much, because after 20 years, there's a whole heap of stuff we have experienced. And for those who are newlyweds, those who are going to get married, those who are already married and having some challenges, trust me, you can listen to our conversations and share it with others. The whole matter of pride, being in a relationship, can only build a wedge. So the quicker you can come off of your pride, as old time Jamaicans people say, the quicker you can reconciliate or be reconciled to your partner. And I know reconciliation is like a big word, because as partners, how do you talk about reconciliation, though there's this big wedge. But the truth is, pride can build that big wedge. And if it stays long enough, the wedge becomes wider and wider. So it's just a matter now of you, as you've been saying, somebody just come to them senses and just speak, call it for what it is, and get it over with. Because as I was saying, that the level of intimacy can only grow after these incidents pop up and you work them out together. It can only grow. From our experience, we have seen that, listen, every time we have a look at this agreement and we eventually come together and sort it out, we get closer. So that's our encouragement to you.
Yeah, I believe that sometimes it's pays to be silly. Stop trying to be so protective of ourselves, not to look silly in front of your significant.
Hi, I'm Cornell, and we are the Lees. Your turn.
We're here to share with you. No.
What does that mean? Because
it means when you show yourself bare, because most of the times when we have pride is when we're protecting ourselves and don't want to be too vulnerable.
protecting our egos.
Right? So show that vulnerability.
Is it protecting the ego or the wrong word I use?
No, that's fine. I just didn't answer because I didn't say anything wrong. I was still speaking. So
no, but
I shake my head. So basically, that's it. When most of the time, when you come down after trying to protect your feelings and be silly, it turns out into a beautiful thing.
It's pretty long. Can't believe it. We thought we had something to share. Called
The Lees.
No, it's conversation with the Lees.
Okay, called
Conversation with the Lees.
Conversation with the Lees. 1, 2. Conversation with the Lees. Like,
subscribe,
and share.
So, see you on the other side.
Bye. It can turn out to be playful. It can melt the heart of your significant other for whatever, the upset was about, or the disgruntledness, by you, showing that little playful side, or, just being silly and act silly. You melt the ice, and then you become more playful, and as Carter will say, it builds intimacy because you're showing your significant other, that other side of you. And the truth is, it's called at times being bare. And when you be bare with each other over time, you learn to protect each other in that sense. You understand? And then that's a part of you that you don't go and give to everybody else. So the person knows also that it takes something from you to come down and play off what it may be, and just start being silly. You understand? So, and it builds closeness. If the person mean you any good, it builds closeness, so you don't have to always trying to be protecting yourself, and I have to draw the line here, let him know who he's talking to or who she's talking. They don't need that. You understand? You don't really do that with someone who have your back and who you love and who you care for. But I do understand that it takes time for you to have that freedom. You understand? It takes time for you to open up yourself to someone, because you have to know that after you have done that and become vulnerable, the person is going to receive it and they're going to protect that vulnerable part of you.
And it stems from the friendship that you have. You understand me? When you started out being, silly and friendly and laughy, and there was nothing to protect. There was nothing to be defensive about. But over time, you live together, you go through some stuff, some things happen along the path, but you just don't lose that essence of the friendship that says you and me together forever, whatever storm, whatever weather comes, it's just still you and me, so let's deal with it and move on. Yes, and that way pride no really have no space.
And that is
it
true.
It can't foster, it can't grow.
That is
Yeah.
true, but on the other hand, you do have persons who, the way in which they were grown up and their surroundings that they're coming from, they may just be persons who may be starchy, I don't know how to laugh at themselves, because you will find that a lot of persons, when they started out in a relationship and they may do something that the other person may find silly and the other person may giggle about it, they will ask, what is so funny, or did I say something funny, because it's honestly how they're made up. So you find out that maybe individuals around them normal would have to be apologizing. Oh, sorry, no, it's because you have said this that way, you have said that way, because they don't know what it's like to laugh at themselves, to make fun of themselves. They take themselves too serious. So it takes the other person to be patient and to help them to discover that side of themselves and say, look, it's okay. It's okay to just hang down here around me. You don't need to be perfect all the time around me either. It's me you're dealing with, So
Yeah.
it's just.
So again, we hope that what we have said and what we continue to have these conversations, that it will help, that it will probably be a word right in time for somebody. You understand me? Because we don't just come up with a topic because we just want to come up with topics. We come up with topics that we know that will, probably connect at a certain point, and it may just be a word in time that you might need, to just deal with that issue that you probably going through in a relationship. You
and
understand?
if we have learned that, so because we have gone through stuff, and after a period of time when we have understand why certain things happen and we can see the other side of it, say, okay, what if we share it with others and they can know that and avoid doing it this way, or look at it from another perspective, and it may help. It's not all the time you have to drop in a hole for you to have an experience to know that the hole is there. If certain things can be avoided, then it's good to share. You understand? Because life in itself is a journey. You understand? You make mistakes, you learn, you grow, and so over time you pay attention. You know what works from what don't work, and we're looking at it and saying, no. If we had someone, you understand, to point out certain little things that can cause big problems, you understand, and if we had someone maybe to steer us along that line, certain things wouldn't happen. So we're here to share. We're here to share.
And we hope that it will help. You believe it will?
It can.
So when you watch, it may just be what you need to hear. It may not be what you want to hear.
It may not be what you want
but
to
it
hear.
may just be what you need to hear. Alright?
And make fun of yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself before anybody else laugh at you too. That's fun.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, again, another conversation, and we hope to hear from you. We want to hear your comments. We are heading towards 1,000 subscribers, though we are going slowly but surely, like the turtle. But you can help us get there, and we are asking you to help us get there. So share with your friends, share it with some couple who you know are probably having some challenges or whatever. It's not just all serious talk on our channel, so you have about 42 other videos to go watch, where you can see some of the stuff we have said and done, some crazy things that we have done. It's about having fun, it's about growing together, it's about having healthy relationships. Right?
And you're watching the video, you crackle at 2 times. Like the video before you finish watching and forget.
Yeah.
It helps
It can
us.
only help.
You understand also. So like it, share it, and if it's your first time, subscribe.
Do consider subscribing.
Touch the bell button. Once you have touched it once, you don't have to touch it again.
Your mind can
And
touch
keep
again
your
for the notification.
Right. So whenever we post a video, you will automatically
You'll be
get
one
it.
of the first to get
Right,
that
and tell
notified.
somebody about the channel, Conversation with Elise.
Alright. Oh, we're on Instagram and we're on TikTok. We don't have a lot of videos on there yet, but we are there, so you can find us there also. Alright. But look out for more videos, look out for more content, and until we see you again.
Right, and if there's anything that we have overlooked,
Yes.
share it.
Yeah, man, share your views.
Share it.
All right. So, God bless. See you on the other
Thanks
side.
for watching.